And joining me now in studio is attorney and CEO at the International Legal Forum, Arsen Ostrovsky. Thank you for coming in. Can you please tell us, you're involved in this lawsuit. Tell us about it.
Sure. Look, I think it's impossible today not to look at the scenes across campuses in the United States and just not be jarred, not be taken aback, and not be outraged at what is going on. And quite frankly, enough is enough. Groups like SJP have become the arm of Hamas on campuses across the United States. They're not mere advocacy organizations as they may pretend to be, but they've become collaborators and propagandists for Hamas on campuses today. And they're doing two things. They're not only fomenting the chaos, the violence, the incitement, the vitriol that we're seeing on behalf of Hamas, but they're also creating the conditions, the narrative and the space necessary for Hamas to continue carrying out also the acts of terror in Gaza against Israelis, and including the holding of hostages as we're seeing today.
So what is the process right now in the United States with this lawsuit?
Well, the claim has just been filed a number of days ago. It's been, as you said, it's been filed on behalf of 9 plaintiffs, including survivors of the Nova massacre, including those who have been displaced, as well as family members of those who have been murdered and injured as well. It is now in the court process, and there's no telling how long that may take. Obviously, there'll be arguments and discovery and evidence that will be submitted, underscoring the extent of collaboration and coordination between Hamas and between the groups like NSJP and AMP.
And what are the chances for this case to go through and have a win?
Look, I think the evidence is very solid. We wouldn't have been part of this action were it not the case. So we know that, on October 7th, Hamas issued a mobilized call to action. On October 8th, the next day, SJP answered that call. They issued a toolkit or a manifesto which echoed the very language that Hamas was using to spread that, to propagate that across campuses. They called for days of resistance. They incited violence. They used the very same words, rhetoric that Hamas is using.
And now we're hearing this kind of rhetoric all across U.S. campuses as well, reviving the Intifada, as they say, and we're seeing a surge of anti-Semitism in general since October 7th. Like I said just moments ago, it was already on the rise before October 7th, but definitely has increased tremendously since. And so what you're saying, essentially saying, is that these were all coordinated attempts of a PR machine here, promoting the terrorist organization Hamas.
Correct. I mean, I would even go beyond that. I mean, SJP is not merely a PR agency for Hamas, but they are willing collaborators. They are spreading Hamas propaganda across campuses in the United States, as well as creating the conditions necessary for Hamas to continue carrying out the acts of terror and the holding of hostages, including American nationals today.
Now, these students on campuses, not all of them belong to these organizations, but these organizations definitely have swept a lot of students to join their causes. Do these students not know what they're advocating for in these protests? Do they not understand that by being drawn to such organizations and they're taking part in you see their rhetoric and the mantras that they keep on repeating? Do they not see that?
It's a good question. Some of them don't see that. Some of them go to these protests because their friends are there. There was a video only a couple of weeks ago from a protest outside NYU where a protester was asked, "Why are you here?" And she ended up saying, "Well, I'm not educated enough. I don't know. I came from Colombia." Those were her exact words. So many of them do not know. They do not know.
They called and said they needed us here, so here I am.
Basically, yes. They're like sheep. They're like, in many cases, they're like, they're brainwashed zombies. But the groups like SJP, like AMP, know very well what they're doing.
Arsen Ostrovsky, thank you very much.
Thank you.